My friends, most AI humanizers make the same promise. Paste in generated writing, click one button, and receive a version that sounds completely natural. The problem is that the final results can be very different. One platform may genuinely improve the writing, while another changes a few phrases and still gets identified immediately by an independent checker. My name is Daniel, and today I am testing 5 popular options to find the best AI humanizer. We'll start with walterwrites, QuillBot, and Grammarly. Then we'll check 2 simpler browser-based options, aihumanizer.so and humanizeai.tech. I'll generate one sample in ChatGPT, run it through each service, and then check each rewrite with GPTZero. The same source is used throughout the comparison, although QuillBot requires a shortened version because of its free word limit. Guys, make sure you check out all the useful links in the description after watching this video. Huge thanks to Walter Writes for sponsoring today's episode. Let's get started. Mates, generated writing can contain useful information, but its rhythm often becomes predictable. Sentences may follow similar patterns, transitions can feel too polished, and the overall delivery may sound less personal when read aloud. A rewriting platform is designed to soften these patterns while preserving the original idea. It may adjust the structure and pacing, so the material feels less mechanical. In simple terms, these services help make generated text sound more natural without manually rebuilding every paragraph. However, passing a checker is only one part of the job. A new version can receive a positive score and still sound awkward or lose an important detail. That is why I'll look at both the independent result and the actual reading experience. My friends, I begin by asking ChatGPT to produce a longer scientific passage. I review the response, choose one clear sample, and keep it unchanged for every test. The same source goes into all 5 platforms. After each rewrite, I copy the output into GPTZero and run the same advanced scan. Folks, I'm starting with Walter Writes because it offers the most complete workflow in this comparison. I paste in the original ChatGPT passage and adjust its purpose, readability, and detection bypass level. These controls help the new version match the type of material I'm working with. For this test, I choose Enhanced and use Humanize and Scan. The rewrite and initial assessment happen inside the same editor, so I do not need to move between separate pages. Walter Writes processes the full text and restructures it paragraph by paragraph. The finished version expands to around 850 words and feels less repetitive while keeping the original subject clear. Guys, the built-in check marks the output as human written, but I still test it independently in GPTZero. It returns 0% AI and 100% human in this example. The score is strong, and the rewrite also reads more naturally. I would still review important details and make small changes when a specific brand voice is required. For me, Walter Writes feels like the best AI humanizer in this comparison because it combines useful controls, a complete rewrite, and scanning in one workspace. Guys, before we move on, I try to make my content fun instead of boring. And in return, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content I make. My friends, the next option is QuillBot. It includes an AI humanizer alongside its wider collection of rewriting tools. I add the same ChatGPT passage and start the process. However, the free version allows me to work with only 125 words at a time. Since my original sample contains more than 600 words, I create a shorter copy for this part of the comparison. That means the result is useful, but it does not represent the full document. After processing the shortened text, I check it in GPTZero. This version receives a more human classification than the untouched source. Guys, QuillBot offers a quick and familiar process, but the free limit is important here. Working through a long article would require several separate sections or access to a paid plan. Folks, Grammarly approaches the task through its broader writing environment. I paste in the same original material and use its rewriting feature to adjust the voice. The platform works through the document paragraph by paragraph. I can review the suggested changes and decide which ones to accept instead of replacing the entire passage immediately. Before making those changes, Grammarly's own assessment identifies the original version as fully generated. It also points to writing patterns that may have contributed to that classification. I accept the revised sections and prepare the new copy for another GPTZero scan. The workflow gives me more visibility into individual edits, which is helpful when I want to follow the changes closely. Mates, Grammarly is primarily a wider editing suite rather than a dedicated humanization platform. Its strength here is the ability to revise writing alongside its other grammar and style features. Folks, the fourth service is AI Humanizer.so. Its process is much more direct. I paste the original passage and select Humanize text. Once the output is ready, the page displays several claimed bypass scores. These include high percentages for GPTZero and originality. However, those numbers come from the service itself. They are not the same as running the new text through an independent platform. My friends, I copy the output and check it separately in GPTZero. Despite the high scores shown on the previous page, the external scan still identifies the passage as generated with strong confidence. This is a useful reminder that an internal percentage should not be treated as proof. A result needs to hold up outside the platform that created it. Guys, the final service is humanizeai.tech. This is a free browser-based option with a straightforward input and output process. I paste in the same original material, click Humanize, and receive the revised version within a few seconds. The platform gives its own humanity score of 95%. Once again, that figure comes directly from the service. To compare it fairly, I take the output to GPTZero and run the advanced scan. The external check is completely different. GPTZero classifies the passage as 100% generated. Mates, this is the clearest mismatch in the comparison. One page reports 95% human, while the external checker reaches the opposite conclusion. The service may still be useful for a quick free rewrite, but I would not rely on its internal rating alone. So guys, let's wrap this up. All 5 tools produce different results from the same source material. QuillBot performed fairly well in the shortened test, while Grammarly offered more control over individual edits. The 2 simpler browser tools were less reliable because their internal scores did not match GPTZero. For me, walterwrites delivered the strongest overall workflow. It handled the full sample, provided useful controls, and passed the independent check while keeping the meaning clear. My friends, every rewritten text should still be reviewed for tone and accuracy before publishing. This video is sponsored by walterwrites. To try it yourself, visit walterwrites.ai or use the link in the description below. As usual, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.